Today we're talking about confusion. The great difficulty is that we can never actually figure out life. The best we can do is to learn to understand it and to know life for what it is. It is the nature of our mind to be confused, to wonder, to think. If someone tells you they have a clear mind, they are simply confused about being confused. The nature of mind is confusion. This is the beauty of the mind. It cannot figure out everything, but the mind can gather information. It can accumulate feelings. It can remember experiences. All of these dwell in our still consciousness, and the mind can mull things over. We mull things over endlessly throughout life. This is the nature of a logical mind. The mind is always going to be confused. A confused mind can be positive if you know how to organize your confusion and handle this confusion. As the world progresses, the more information there is available, the more there is to ponder, the more there is to be confused about. The more we delve into the profundity of life, the more confused we become. This is not necessarily a bad thing. The mind can be confused. This is the nature of mind. It is beneficial to use this confusion, because if there was no confusion, then the mind would not be investigating. It would not be looking for answers and receiving new information. Without this confusion of mind, without this investigation, the mind would be like a block of concrete, devoid of emotions, of thoughts, of feelings, and experiences. The perceiving mind will always experience confusion, as it is always receiving more than it can ever process. So much information automatically accumulates every day from the things that we see, the things that we hear, and the things that we experience. Only an unattentive mind thinks it knows everything. An attentive mind is always wandering, always confused. You should not see this as a form of suffering, but rather understand that we are constantly confused and wondering and deciphering incoming information. This is a sign of a functioning intelligence. Whether we are awake or asleep, our mind is gathering information. The six senses of sight, sound, taste, touch, and mind consciousness are constantly perceiving endlessly. If we are not aware of this influx of activity on the senses, including the sixth sense of consciousness, life can become stagnant and dull. So confusion is really a problem from this point of view. The lack of confusion is also a problem. For without confusion, there is no use of the imagination. It may not be possible to figure out life, but we should simply become an absolute piece of life and just know life for what it is. The only way to know life is to become one. Otherwise, you are not a life. You are a bundle of thoughts, emotions, ideas, opinions, and prejudices. And these can become more dominant than the life within you. These thoughts and emotions can occupy more space in your life than life itself. And then you are not experiencing yourself as a piece of life. So, when we do not experience life, we are just a conglomerate of thoughts and emotions that are available to us via the senses of sight, sound, taste, touch, smell, and mind. It is an incorrect perception with life to think we understand it, as the thought process can become unending and uncontrollable. And people begin to believe that this compulsion is more dominant or predominant to life. This is not accurate, because thoughts, emotions do not exist before life. It is life that makes thoughts possible. The secret to overcoming or reducing this state of confused thoughts, feelings, and emotions is focus. This can give protection from the negativity of life. This protection should just filter out that which is not necessary or required. So it needs to be a filter, not a wall. So many people surround themselves within a wall to protect themselves from emotional hurt, pain, and suffering by closing out the world on this level. Unfortunately, at the same time, they are closing out life. Life should touch you. Even if life smothers you, it's better than spending your life or spending your years untouched by life. In this confusion, it's possible to generate a substantial amount of intense emotion and thought. And in many cases, these may bring sadness or sorrow, and possibly depression. These are emotions and thoughts going in the wrong direction. These are thoughts and emotions that can work against you, and not thoughts and emotions to your personal benefit. Sadness and sorrow, in most cases, is self-created. If this self-created upset is also influenced by an outside situation, it's not common to lose a little mental balance. Sometimes this can seem like madness. And the line between sanity and insanity is very, very thin. And people keep pushing the line. When you allow uncontrolled anger to arise, for example, you are pushing this very thin line. When you say, I was mad at somebody or I was mad at something, you are not mad at somebody, you are just going mad. Being mad at someone or something is not really possible. What you are doing is pushing your sanity and the bounds of your sanity and moving that boundary closer to the insanity for that period of time and then returning. Constant pushing of this line and returning, pushing and returning. There may be one day you are unable to return. And this could become a clinical illness. Your doctor might not give you a certificate of diagnosis for this, okay? But it is an illness. In this confusion, people think it is their right to throw tantrums. Their right to get angry at others. That it is their privilege to get depressed for the sake of attention. People keep doing this. Confusion keeps them crossing this thin line. The concern is that one day you may not be able to come back or not be able to cross back. The outcome can be good or it can be bad. Confusion can generate an inquiring mind, a mind of investigation, leading to understanding and a positive outcome. Or confusion can generate a form of madness, resulting in sadness and depression by pushing that thin line of sanity or self-control. Now is the time to turn this all around. You may need to understand mentally, psychologically, chemically, and energy-wise, it does not pay to be unhappy and to feel emotionally sick. It does not pay to have a loss of one's emotional contentment and peace of mind. So use this confusion. Understand that confusion is actually the normal state of mind. And use this tool to self-motivate and to investigate yourself. And use the nature of your logical mind. Thank you for listening today.